Hello everyone! Today we will take a virtual tour around 7 countries and get acquainted with their representatives and cultures.
Hello everyone, my name is Marihana Leon. I'm from a beautiful country called Colombia. I have been living in Russia since February 15, 2022. I'm a third-year student of medicine at Petro-Zapoxo State University. Colombia is located at the northwest of South America. It has limits with the Panama Canal. At the northwest also has limits with Panama City. And at the southwest it has limits with Ecuador and Peru. And the northeast it has limits with Venezuela. And the southeast it has limits with Brazil. Colombia also has limits with the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. It's the only country in South America that has these limits with the oceans. Colombia is divided in 5 regions. It goes from the Andes mountain region to the Amazonic region. There is also the Pacific region and the west of the country, the Caribbean coast region at the north of the country, and the Llanos or the Oriental plains at the east of the country. Colombia's population is not evenly distributed. Most of the population lives in the Andine region or the Andes mountain region, and also at the Caribbean coast at the north of the country. The east of the country is more for farmers, for people who works in the farm. The Amazonic region, there are indigenous tribes with their territories. I also wanted to say that the capital of the country is called Bogotá, and almost all the people in Colombia wants to go there because there is a lot of opportunities in this city. When I was living in Colombia, I didn't know which way to take, but I always knew that I wanted to live the experience of an international student. I used to make jokes that I was gonna go to the other side of the world in a country where no one knew me and no one could find me unless that I wanted. And what a coincidence that my cousin was living in Russia, in Kazan. When he knew that I wanted to live this experience, he invited me and he motivated me to come here. Also, my family was very supportive. Every decision, they were supporting me. And without them, I wouldn't be here. When I first came to Russia, I was very scared because it was my first time going to a new country and I was doing it on my own. I came early in the morning to the airport in St. Petersburg, and the first thing that I did was looking for a SIM card to be able to call my mom. We haven't spoken in 2 days. So I went to buy this SIM card and I didn't knew much Russian, but the girl who sold me the SIM card, she knew English. I was delightful by this. She was very kind also. When I went to take a taxi, the driver also was very kind. He even worried about me closing my coat before going out to the street because it was getting cold. But everything changed when the ride from the airport to the train station ended, because he charged 7,000 rubles for this. I asked him twice if he was sure about the amount of money. He started to yelling at me things that I didn't understand in Russian. So I was very scared. I decided to pay the amount of money and go to the train station. When I was in the train station, I bought the tickets to Petro-Zapoxo. I was talking with my mom, and when I get in the train, I feel so much joy because I was finally fulfilling a lot of things that I wanted to do since the COVID pandemic. I shared the wagon with a sweet granny who started to talk with me. She was speaking and I just was hearing, and I only understand when she told me, "I know that you don't understand anything." I just answered yes. When I came to Petro, I was welcomed by two guys from Colombia. They were very kind, and we went to the baker near the train station. I fell in love with the baker in that moment because there was the smell of coffee, the atmosphere, the pastry, the snow in the street. It was like a movie. I was so happy in that moment, and I forget about the 7,000 rubles of the taxi. It was perfect. I could say that Russia and Colombia, they are very different. Let's start with the climate. The climate here in Russia, it's way too cold. And there is 4 seasons. In Colombia, we only have 2 seasons. There is no snow, there is no autumn, and there is no spring. So the other topic will be the food. We're going to talk about the fruits. The fruits in Colombia, they are sweeter, they are cheaper, and they are fresher. This is because of the tropical weather that we have. Also the people. The people in Colombia, they are friendlier. In Russia, they are also friendlier, but they are way too serious. So in Colombia, if you don't know the person in front of you on the line, you could ended up being friends. Also, the security here in Russia, it's 100 times better than in Colombia. Here you can walk with your phone in your hand without any worries. In Colombia, it's better enough to give the chance to be robbed. And that means that you cannot walk with your phone in your hands, you cannot use expensive accessories, because the thieves know how to recognize them and they will not hesitate to steal them. You have to be prepared for the cultural difference if you want to go to study in a new country, because you have to know that not everyone has the same childhood, not everyone has the same tradition, the same way to think. We are different people from different places, and you must be conscious that not everyone thinks the same. You need to be patient because you're gonna find peculiar people and peculiar situations, even if you are from the same country. So that's it. You need to be patient. The aspects of the Russian culture that have surprised me, they are 2. The first one is the Maslenitsa. It's a holiday that they have at the end of the winter, or it's called welcoming to the spring. I think for children is the most favorite week because they can eat blinis all the week. But it has surprised me because at the end of this week they burned a giant doll, and it's a little weird for me. The second aspect is that in winter there are a few people that goes and immerse themselves in a very cold water. It can be in a lake or somewhere else, I don't know, but I know that they do this in a lake. And I cannot think how hard this is, because for me it's hard to go to the street in winter, even with a coat. So I cannot imagine how hard it has to be before they immerse, while you are there in the water, and after that, because it's in winter, it's cold, and you are without coat, so it's impossible to imagine. If I'm honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the Russian food, and it's not because it's not delicious, it's because I'm used to another flavors. But there are some dishes that I love. For example, the solyanka soup, the kalitki. The thing that I love from the kalitki is that there are variety. You can put fish, you can put some potatoes, and you can put some berries. They are perfect. The food in Colombia, it's a little bit different because the traditional food depends on the region. I am from Los Llanos, so the traditional food is the llanera meat. It's a very juicy meat that has to be cooked for 3 hours. Inside it's juicy and outside it has a very delicious crust. We usually make this dish in the holidays and also the birthdays. I could say that we love this meat in the Llanos, but in another regions there will be another dishes. But a traditional drink in all the country, it's the hot chocolate with cheese. When I speak with my friends from another country, they always say to me, how you can eat that? It's hot chocolate and you put cheese? How it works? But I'm sure that if you try it, you will be in love with this drink. And I will recommend it you. If you go to Colombia, you need to try it. I think that after living here in Russia for 3 years, it has to become normal. Go to shopping or do some task that you normally do, like go to the train station, buy some tickets, go to the movies or go to shopping. It's something normal for me. There is no language barriers or anything like that. At the beginning it was hard, but now I don't have any barriers and I think that's amazing. My advice for anyone who wants to come here to Russia and study, it's that you need to think about it well. It's not a decision that you can take lightly. You have to think about how you're gonna stop spending special dates with your family, how you're gonna see your relatives grow up from afar, that you're gonna be studying in a totally new language with totally different people from the people that you know. So that's why you need to think about it well. You're gonna have a good experience. You're gonna meet good people. If you came to Petro, you need to be prepared for the most beautiful sunsets in the lake. Thanks for your attention.